not our task to master the present, but to savor it, to pause, to go still. Feel the air on the back of our necks. Sit in both discomfort and pleasure, and marvel in the radiance of the present moment, so that we may, in the poet William Blake's words, hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. For all we ever have is now.
Mimi Manitoba moved into this space just as the pandemic kind of was kicking off. So this is like literally the first event we've had with grown-up people. So I'm so encouraged and so happy that everything is working properly. So Mimi Manitoba is a provincially and federally funded sector council that works with the interactive industries here in the province of Manitoba. And our mandate is to help them grow and thrive. And there's so many exciting things happening.
Everyone is creative. A creative life requires bravery, action, honesty, and hard work. We are here to support you, celebrate with you, and encourage you to make the things that you love. We believe in the power of community. We believe in giving a damn. We believe in face-to-face connections, which is kind of cool because we've been doing this virtually for so long. Please welcome Kerri. That's great.
I think I'll just start with tuning into the now, because I don't want to just talk about it. Let's see if we can contact it. So I'm going to teach you 3 different ways that you can contact now. And the first one is with what we can see. So in our seats, let's take a moment to kind of ground ourselves. You might want to put your feet flat on the floor. If you feel more comfortable standing, absolutely do that. And you can lengthen your back, your spine, the back of your neck. Relax your forehead, the space behind your eyes, the back of your tongue, your jaw, your shoulders. And we're going to do this one with our eyes open. I invite you to look around the room and notice what you are drawn to visually. So what in this room is grabbing your attention? And if you notice something grabs your attention, you can try noting it. Noting is where you acknowledge that you're drawn to something, and then you kind of soak into it for a couple moments, and then see what else catches your eye. We'll just do that for a couple moments. And if you want to say out loud what you're seeing right now, what's catching your eye?
Great pink star.
I didn't even notice that. Beautiful, great pink star, yeah.
The sign behind you.
Oh, some behind me, yeah.
The books on the shelf.
Okay, books on the shelf.
Christine's shirt.
Yeah, I was paying attention to that. I'm looking at the contrast of the white pipe and the brown right behind me. Okay, so that's one way of just on a surface level of contacting now. We were all in the moment. Hopefully, if you're bringing most of your concentration to what you could see, we're all in the moment of now. Now that was at a pretty basic level. And if we're going to use the now, the kind of now that you were talking about, we want to try and see if we can go a little bit deeper. So let's try, same exercise, narrowing our focus to what we can see in the room in which we're in. And when you're looking at an object, notice if there's any motion or change to it while you're looking at it. And if there's none, that's okay, but just notice if something shifts when you put your focus on it. So I'm gonna interrupt you there. Did anyone have a change? Notice any change in an object that felt, sometimes did it feel like it maybe got closer or further away? Did it kind of disappear? Did you notice your attention kind of getting bigger? Any notes of that? Yeah, some notes. And if you can detect that today, cool. If you can't detect that today, that's okay. There's skills you can develop to be able to contact that. That is now. That is focusing on something so clearly that you can notice if it is changing, if it is expanding, if it's contracting, if it's staying the same, or if it's doing both at the same time. And being able to contact now is an incredible skill, because so much of the time we spend our time in our minds thinking we're in the now with these thoughts. Often it's replaying things that aren't positive, replaying things that we're either saying to ourselves or that people said to us, or thinking about, I'll be happy when. And none of that, like, so yeah, that's in the now. But if you can choose and intentionally focus on the now of other sense experiences, and even those ones, you can break them apart, you can start to get some of the benefits of happiness. And there's 5 elements. 5 elements of happiness. So often, when we think about happiness, we think about probably people like me. So, perky, gleeful, enthusiastic, is that what you said? Exuberant, yeah. And that's a very weird definition of happiness, but actually happiness can be broken into 5 parts. And there's this guy called Shinzen Young who broke it in like a periodic table of happiness. And these are the parts. So if you're able to contact now, you could experience relief. And relief is that if you're someone who's always kind of being mean to yourself, never in the moment, or even in a situation where you don't feel like you can handle it, you have a technique to be able to either look at it head on and break it apart, or you can anchor away and you can experience some relief. The more attention that we give to things that are holding us back, they kind of become solid and heavy, and then we carry them around. And it's like all of us are like walking around with like a big bag of issues. And it's so heavy, right? It's so heavy. And maybe there's a way of having some relief where those things can kind of drop, because we can see what they are. They're just things that show up, expand, contract, make both, or stay the same. Second one, fulfillment. So I don't know about you, but a lot of times with fulfillment, it's about not being able to appreciate or feel joy in the moment. And if you're like, I was a super workaholic, it might mean that you work. You complete things, you get things like name top voice and have a best-selling book, and still don't feel happy. Even though we think that external things make us happy, they don't. And so how can you appreciate and have some fulfillment? So when good things happen, you can even soak in them longer. Next element of happiness, self-understanding. So understanding ourselves at a surface, like psychological level, but also as we go deep, if you do the now practices quite deep, you can kind of know yourself as like at a primordial level, which is a really cool way to move around the world, thinking that you actually are just born perfect, and you don't really have to change, you don't have to work in order to show that you have value. You can just being is okay. You can learn mastery, so how to perform in a way that feels masterful to you, and you can connect with other people. So if you're doing now, you can build these skills towards happiness. How, Kerri? So you're going to develop 3 skills. Concentration, it's the ability to concentrate on what you want to concentrate, when you want to concentrate on it. So when you were paying attention to see, you had concentration. You were like, I'm just going to focus on the visual things in my room. Sensory clarity, that you're aware of what sensations are happening at any given time. And when you have that, as things come at you, it's not that you don't have a reaction, but maybe your reaction is a little bit softer or a little bit more fluid. And the last one is equanimity, which means not spending most of your time replaying things or thinking about the future, but being like, it's okay, and the things that are coming at me now, I can handle. Beautiful. So let's try another exercise to try to contact now. What I'd love you to do is bring your attention, and this might be easier with your eyes closed, but bring your attention to the hearing space. So what you can hear in the room in which you're in. And if you are, if hearing outside sounds isn't readily accessible, you want to choose the difference between the sound in which you speak to yourself in your head and that other space. So we're interested in that other space. So let's pay attention to the sounds in this room. What do we hear? Anyone want to share what they've heard?
You're like a fan, like a laptop fan.
Yeah, I think it's like a computer fan. Yeah, what else? What? Projector fan. Anyone else?
The floor creaking.
Floor creaking. Anything else?
It's like an underlying hum.
Yeah, like some white noise. Yeah, I heard someone cough over there. So this fan, who's really hearing it now? Who heard it before?
I didn't know.
Oh, you're all enlightened. What am I doing here? So I didn't notice that sound before. And there might be other things. So one thing with here is that we can, it's one way that we might experience, and it's another way that we can tune into the now. Could just be to listen to the sounds that are in the room. If we listen long enough, maybe just even this kind of fan, does it change at all? Can we notice the nowness of it? Yeah, there's sort of like a rhythm, right? There's some like pretty cool things. Okay, so that's your second technique. So you can do see, you can do hear. I'll teach you feel in a moment. I'm just going to share a little bit about how now helped me. It's just like, I've done career coaching for a long time, and the basics of career coaching and career development kind of say that if you find ideal work, so using your favorite skills in the ideal environment with people that you like, and you get to have flow, most of the time you're going to be happy. And I believe that and wrote a book about it and lived it, except the I feel happy part wasn't true. Because if you were to zoom into my brain at the time when I would say like I was, acing it in life, what was going on in my brain was, you're going to become irrelevant. You better come up with a new program. You better make a video. You better show up. And when I would get awards and named things, I'd go, that's great. But that's the last time. And not even able to savor it. And what happened, luckily, is I got really sick. And I got sick before COVID. And I got sick in a way that my doctor said I had to stay in bed all the time. And it sucked because I really liked to do the things that I was doing. So I was teaching at the university. I was going to speak at this amazing conference in Australia. I really wanted to go to Australia. And I had other local gigs. And I had to cancel all of it. And all I had was me in a bed. And I had to face the question of, who am I when I'm not working? And it's not a question that I wanted to ask, and I definitely didn't want to deal with. And luckily, I was doing mindfulness coaching, or getting trained to be a mindfulness coach at the same time. And I just started to bring in these techniques. And by focusing on the now, so what I could hear, what I could see, how I could feel flow, when I started to experience those in this bed with this mass as I waited for surgery, I felt happy. It was ridiculous because I had all these other things that I thought would make me happy, and I was like, oh, actually it's this. And then when I worked with other people and started to bring mindfulness training into the career coaching, then I noticed that they started to feel happy. They started to feel content. They started to express themselves in a way that they hadn't before. That things that used to hold them back weren't holding them back anymore because they're able to focus on the now. And it's not a quick fix, right? It's like doing these practices 10 minutes a day. So it's kind of quick, but over time, what happens is that your base level of happiness in all those 5 categories starts to change. And you can be in the moment. And you don't really need to grasp or worry or be mean to yourself. And you get to feel, well, the best thing is you get to actually feel this really beautiful, blissful way of being happy. I'm going to teach one last exercise, which is feel. So let's bring our attention to our physical bodies. And the same way that we scan the room for sights, the same way we scan the room for sounds, is the way that we'll scan our bodies. So just notice any sensations that you're having in your body. And they may be pleasant, unpleasant, doesn't matter. Just notice that there's a sensation. And you might be pulled from one place, like your knee, to your toe, to the back of your neck. But when your attention is on that one space, see if you notice any movement or change. And it's kind of cool to do in the body, but if it's getting bigger, see if you might just allow it to get bigger. And it might be like a bubbling, it might be waves. So can you detect expansion, contraction, both or none in this moment? And if you have thoughts or hearing other sounds, you can let those be in the background. We're just interested in feeling the now in our bodies. Beautiful. So that's all I have to share with you today. I think we're going to do questions and answers if we have time. Yeah. So and if you want to share any reports of how that was for you, I'd love it. Thank you for coming. Thanks for being in the now with me.